And away we go, Godspeed. We're getting everything set up for a match number 1 on our road to Riyadh. I was just looking the other day, and I got a notification that, what was it, the first PGC North American qualifier over in Burbank was about the same time 6 years ago. But I just want to see the meta develop on Tego whenever we get there. And
Oh my!
Starting it off on Millie. Woo, okay.
You know, that's one way to do it, I guess. So a lot of these teams, obviously, there's only 3 currently on Millie base. We'll see how these rotations kind of play out. We'll see if we see any gliders, potentially emergency airdrops. Looking at rotations, though, so we have obviously got it away. We're excited. We're talking about everything going on, but
taking the more cautious approach, and that's no surprise given the fact that we have no idea what's going to be going on with this. They've got themselves a vehicle fortification, and with the firefight now going on to the south, that means the fact that we have a lot of just independent fights that are all kind of happening outside of this, with Rats taking some shots into Shoot to Kill and the remnants of Elevate. We still also have those guys right up behind Elevate, and really kind of depends on what Shoot to Kill wants to do. Or do they want to take some shots into those guys, or do they kind of want to let them to go over there and mess with Elevate? So those guys still holding out into this position while that firefight's going on to the south. The res does come out, and this is a lot of bullets, but not hitting what they want to have anything happen just yet. That is probably one of the biggest smokes that we've seen provide so much life and safety. Elevate is not comfy, but not as scary as it was a second ago.
Yep, the fact is that they're alive. All those vehicles at this point have been exploded, so they have some pretty decent hard cover now at this point as well.
And a tale was time old, as we have North American PUBG. It is going to be Luminosity and Shoot to Kill, Luminosity and Soniqs that are going to be bumping into each other right over here. And Rello's got himself a good angle and nails that shot.
Oh!
Nade's going to come in on the other side, but that's going to be H1 that follows it up. LG now just down to Snakers and Flood, as there is a stack of smokes going on in front of this one. Circle has shifted away from this position. Soniqs playing this one slow and steadily. Throwables coming out on both sides, but really it looks like Soniqs got the defensive line into this. Now starting to spread out, finding different angles. Molotov's now coming down, got the spray into it, and LG looks like they are just getting demolished by Soniqs.
And so clean. They still managed to keep 3 alive. They have 8 kills.
Soniqs still have a couple of ways that they can sneak into this. You can see trying to use the hillside and a couple of pieces of brush and cover, but I mean, that's still some good aim coming at you from Shoot to Kill. Into hitting a nice headshot at range, and Adam gonna go ahead and follow in. Multiple members now in trouble on Sonic's side with Tickleton getting flushed out.
Yeah, they're absolutely harassing Soniqs, not even letting them get up, and just like that, Penta is gonna find 2 beautiful shots, 9 kills for SDK.
Let's take a look at the leaderboard. I told you we get to see it. Match leaderboard. SDK comes away with 22 whopping points off the back of that game. 12 kills. That says, hey, boys, we put in some work. SQ and LG, despite fighting up on that hill, still managed to make the top 5. So not a lot of surprises there.
And we back Godspeed. See, that wasn't even that long. It was just a minute to come back into this one, as we are going to get another Erangel game. So, new circle has popped. It's pretty centered around Georgia Pole. We were talking about this kind of off and on again, how as old and young were kind of scrapping with Shoot to Kill, and Shoot to Kill last game dropped Stolber. I was thinking because of Plane Path, but now we're back over here with old and young yet again, and they've got Georgia Pole and STK back in Stolber. They've got themselves that ice cream hut that's going to be pretty close to position. Third Eye making their rotation right now. Going to have to deal with Soniqs, and that was a good shot coming out from Tickleton. Going to go ahead and remove Vox from the game, making him first blood inside this one. And that's really kind of about it. Nobody else is even pulling the triggers right now. Now just making the full-on push. Friendly Fire trying to defend up. Sharp Shot takes a ton of damage. Trying to juke around, move back into that highly defensible section. What's going to be going on? Just 2 members still up, trying to get their meds out. Notice Sharp Shot's on the outside of that one. Going to go for a spray. Does connect into one. Ethan trying to defend the other line of it as well.
Sharp!
Trying to move through. Sharp coming up in a big way right now. But here comes reinforcements. An entire different team in Soniqs, realizing there's an opportunity to be had here. Roth trying to defend up, retreats back into the more defended sections of this compound, but Soniqs feel like they have the capability. Sharp Shot is down. This is a 4-man advantage flooding into this one right now. Soniqs know how they want to make the push. Roth trying to find the angle that is going to be safest to defend from, and he is not going to find it.
Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdown is trying to do. They're trying to make sure they at least have that dip, and they do have at least a little bit of pressure here coming out at Old and Young. So they, I do see what they're trying to do. I just worry that STK is going to start to tear apart that second duo in the dip.
Soniqs going to get eliminated, as it's going to be Rats still holding on to this high ground that we're kind of fighting them as they were trying to hold on to the low ground just below LG and them.
Let's take a look at the overall leaderboard after 2 games. LG in first, STK in second, but it is close. Rats up there in third. Those guys are going to be in fourth after the back of that last game, and then we see Soniqs, Tailtown, Orion bringing up that top 8. Third Eye a little laggardly, but it's only 2 games in. I wouldn't worry about that.
It's finally happening, Godspeed. We are here. We are at Tego, and I cannot wait for whatever is about to happen.
Oh man, it's been years since we've added something new, specifically a whole map.
All right, that's a hard shift.
That's a starting circle. This is actually a really fun circle, though, and the reason I say that is because there's, if you see that massive mountain range up on the north, there's so much different playable terrain in that area that this is going to lead to a very, very fun game. These guys as well seem to have gotten at least 1 kill. Again, really impressing me with the way that they're approaching these circles.
Yeah, Dynamic just in some trouble. I was gonna say they just cannot find a pathing that works for them in the slightest. 7-Up DD trying to figure out exactly the best way to handle this one. Blue Zone's coming in. I like this. Trying to move into the gatekeeping position, force them to come into you. They're gonna go down with some assistance at range. But also, while this is all happening, Third Eye is getting demolished by Soniqs. It's gonna just be LG getting control of the north.
Yep, and honestly, again, Soniqs did the same thing as LG. They saw that fight going down between Friendly Fire and SDK. They saw the knocks, and now they are spreading out and trying to take control. 6 kills on the side of the Soniqs as they now push towards the north to try to take out Friendly Fire. If they can do that quick enough, they can even turn around and maybe spin it onto the fight happening between M762 and Rats. But look at this, Soniqs, so much pressure moving forward.
And guess what? That's going to be exactly where LG is going to be at. Pretty Curdy just trying to retreat from position, realizing how he's in the thick of everything. So shot's going to be coming out from Shark Shot, get the knock onto Shrimzy, but it doesn't really matter. While Shrimzy is going to get flushed, Soniqs have their defensive line set up the way that they want to have it. Circle is going to pop, and now LG has to decide how hard do we want to push what's going to be going on as the fight is still continuing between Dragon Tiger, Barrel Showdown, and Rats.
But Soniqs, again, still pushing that pace. I'm just looking for when LG is going to choose to pounce.
There's no good angle to get out of that, Rats.
But look how sick this map is, Matt. We have so many different fights happening on so many different points of this one hilltop. This is just a sample size. As the Spoon is going to take a shot, no, he won't find it. And Curdy is still going to stay alive. He's going to find another team, and that's going to be a second wipe for STK as they stay alive with Purdy.
With this now, we've got LG, M762, Soniqs, and Third Eye. Backs up against the blue. They don't have a lot of options. It's going to be Dragon Tiger Barrel starting to make the moves in, trying to use the hillside. Quick exchange between the two of them. Now retreating back and away from it. Grenades now starting to come out to see if they can try to slow down anything that's going to be moving. Looks like Soniqs now making the commitment down into LG's position. It's going to be Mime that gets its knock into this one to start off, but Flood gets one as well. That's 2 members now down for Soniqs, trying to cling on to it, but the damage has been done back into LG's position. It is just going to be Snakers and Rello up. Here comes the Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdown, looking for a showdown with LG, but that nade was huge! Massive knock coming out. Cowboy trying to make the push in, does get the knock, trying to eye it out, dancing around the tree, knows exactly where the last member is. Can he get the damage? No, he cannot. Snakers is still up, looking into this as Greg Shot knows exactly where he's at. Let's be real, this is going to be a hard fight to win as Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdown walks away with 7 kills on the victory.
So let's take a look at the overall leaderboard. LG continues to climb. M762 does manage to get up into 2nd place off the back of that game. So big numbers for them, for Vegas and the lads as they climb up. SQ, SDK right behind him. No big surprises.
Going from a strange new world to the comfort food of PUBG as we're going to be making our way to Miramar. And this is going to be a lot of kind of what we were seeing inside that last firefight, right, Godspeed? But on a bigger scale and much more brown.
Circle is actually going to post right there on Cruise of Eye.
You know what's inside the circle, Godspeed? It's not Trailer Park, it's Oasis.
Ultimately, everyone is set up, everyone is comfortable in the circle, and now we're just waiting for that shift, Matt.
Push now coming out as Rats were trying to make some type of move, but they couldn't find anything as it is going to be M762 that holds them down.
And again, this is what I was worried about. There's just nowhere to go. There's nowhere to rotate. Even with the vehicles, even with an emergency airdrop, which isn't even active this late in the game, it still would be impossible to just find a place to play where there isn't already someone occupying. On top of the fact that STK have done a wonderful job of controlling this west side, putting so much pressure on Third Eye. But Third Eye as well doing a great job of just staying alive. They have 2 knocked, but 6 kills. They're working for it as Purdy has been a thorn in their side.
This is kind of interesting to see how this is going to play. This is a good potential trap setup for whoever's going to win. Balefrost's going to go down.
This is a maximum point situation where they're just probably going to try to third party and get as many points as possible as they go into this.
And it also managed to get them separated away from what's going to be going on with M762 as well as LG.
Yep.
And double wins coming out now as here come the nades. Shoot to kill. This is supposed to be what you're known for, is LG trying to get something out of what's going to be going on with Third Eye. They've got the open angle into it. But Shoot to Kill still has a firing line and are trying to punish them, not let them pick up those kills, because Shoot to Kill, they sure as hell want them.
Now Soniqs slowly starting to creep up on this south side, trying to potentially get the knock. That's going to open it up. TGLTN is going to find Relo.
Soniqs feeling like this may be their opportunity, creeping in. Molotov now going to land. Fourth almost coming out. Kickstart doing a little bit of a do-si-do through the vehicles, but he's gonna go down. Good shots gonna be coming out from Mon. All this happening looks like Shoot to Kill's trying to make the push into what's gonna be going on with Elevate. At least getting a knock into him. Haven't opted into leaving just yet. And LG.
This.
Woo. That was brutal. Soniqs just did. H1 now starting to creep up into
careful.
this.
Just be very careful.
Well, there is a vehicle moving at range, and Stiggleton's going to hop into that. It might be enough of a distraction. Looks like H1's thought he has the moment. Goes for spray, does connect. Poonage is going to go down. Gats immediately follows it. And Elevate, who's been comfy cozy over here for quite a while now, having to deal with Soniqs, who are on an absolute massacre. They've decided that this map is theirs, and there is nothing to be had. Finally, Shinboy gets a knock into him, but the double up still going to be coming from H1 and Tig. They've got themselves a line, and they don't even want to give the kill back over. They're like, nah, we're going to get mine back up, and then we're going to see what we can do. Defensive line still coming up from TGLTN. They managed to get it, and Soniqs manages to do a massive game and try to catch up to LG.
And then we did see, you're going to see a little bit more action. Third Eye finally kind of on the left side of that board as they continue to climb. LG holding that first place spot with 54. Soniqs closing on them with 51. And everyone up coming behind that.
Headed back into the desert as we are making our way into Miramar, which is oddly fitting for our road to Riyadh, as that's the desert is the end point for this entire tournament. There are plenty more that are going to be coming right next to this one. We still have Dragon, Tiger, Barrel, Showdown caught up in the thick of it with Tilt Town. But guess what? Soniqs also wants to get involved in what's going to be going on. Dynamic did make a send into a very centered position, but High-Stak's going to go down, leaving just one member in Camberghini. Multiple members of Orion still up, but this distraction is allowing Third Eye to make a send along this pathing, as Orion's at least just trying to get some shoe bullets going at him.
Stick finds themselves in a really bad position here on the southwest side of the circle.
Not quite done with their defense yet. It's going to be Soniqs trying to make the move in, seeing if maybe he can bounce the nade around. No push coming out from that angle just quite yet, but gave Orion time to get the res, get back into position. TGLTN just braving right in opposite side of that wall is going to be Flexi. Look at this. Also, H1 just kind of dashing across through the smokes right on the opposite side of that fire. So Flexi did not have vision on that cross.
Oh, not at all. I don't even know if they know if Flexi is there currently right now. Red Rider now trying to get an angle on the window. He is going to spot out Tig, so that information is going to be relayed out to Flexi. Shoot to Kill, meanwhile, is eliminated in the background, but Hwin is going to find him. The 2-on-2, Hwin and Tig. Can they actually get rid of the rest of Orion?
They still have two heavy hitters alive for their squad. Red Rider still on a bit of damage control, cannot get into a position to res his teammate. So now H1 playing this one more aggressive, realizing that they've got the numbers. Molotov is going to slow him down, but H1, good timing on that. This is just going to be a double up, lined up against each other. Good spray. H1's going to connect. Orion goes out, and the lead is diminishing for LG by the second. You know that they're there, but like, unless you hit a lucky headshot that they stick their own head out, there's not much you can do to them.
Nope. It's pretty much, just hoping, as you said, to get that headshot. Meanwhile, Soniqs Tig is still just doing his best to just get any form of damage. He would love to get a nice nade in. There it is. If he can find that on one of the back members. He knows Poon is down, obviously, but
now the push is going to come out from TGLTN.
I was going to say, but they're so focused on Tig that Hwin on the other side of this road is going to go for his push now, and he could easily get this, as Ethan has no idea he's over the hill. But Paige from distance is actually going to find Ethan, and that's going to be Elevate out. Paige is still going to find the double, though. It was Sneak Attack and Roggy trying to get a forward position based off that knock on Sharp, but Paige was just so on point with that grenade. He completely stopped that, and now Snex Hooligan is trying to steal those points. In fact, he does. He gets one.
Wit just picked up 11 points inside that game, giving them an overall 15. You know, that's feeling way better.
Right, but I will say, someone who feels way better, Friendly Fire, those guys were trying to dig themselves out of the right side of the leaderboard to catch up with Elevate. Remember, we've been putting them in a similar box because they both picked up parts of the now defunct Yahoo, and now they're playing right on top of each other. Because for me, Matt, I was very excited about seeing Friendly Fire and Elevate take the field in PGS 2, because I think that infusion of talent for both teams could get us to a point where we're not just talking about it's always the same three.
Last game of the day, Godspeed, is we're going to be moving into Miramar. We get 3 Miramar today, 2 Erangel, 1 Tego, but then we're going to invert that. 3 Erangel, 1 Tego, 2 Miramar tomorrow. So this is our Miramar heavy day, and I have been having fun with it.
This circle is going to be about as vanilla, even whatever you want to call it, as it gets. So it's just going to be centered right on San Martin. Plenty of teams are going to be inside this one, and there's plenty of room for the other teams also to rotate in as well. Soniqs are going to be mainly holding that southern edge, as though for those teams maybe wanting to come in early. But the way the circle shifted, Matt, was pretty much perfect for them to stay in Minas or around Graveyard. So that's been really great for them. And as we see Soniqs taking this emergency drop from Power Grid, or where are they going to go? That's the question. Where are they going to go, Matt? Yeah, there's actually so many teams bunched up on the north edge of the circle. On top of all the teams that you were talking about not even being in, but here comes Soniqs. And oh my goodness, they get picked out of the sky. Shrimsy and Mime are done and dusted, and that is the risk that you take when you take this emergency drop. A lot of people were wondering how good it was going to be if you could just drop in another team. But remember, when teams are kitted and they have these, ARs or even really nice kitted DMRs, dropping down at a slower speed is almost asking to get knocked, but I do really love the effort and appreciate what Soniqs was trying to go for there.
I appreciate Tig up on the top of this one and H1 down in the dumpster. So that way Tig is kind of in a safety position right now, right? He can make something kind of work, just kind of surviving. He's not going to be easy to kill except for other teams.
As we've seen, Soniqs is very good at taking control of the chaos. As we see Tig going in for the shots, Wynn's going to find one. The trade is there, and Elevate will stay alive. And they should be able to get these reses off as well.
6 games down, 6 games left to play tomorrow. LG looking good. SQ, M762, STK, Friendly Fire, teams that we're not surprised to see up there in the top 5. Those guys in 6 have to be feeling amazing. Rats in 8, Tiltown in 9, but a lot of those teams sort of battling for 8. We're used to. Godspeed for me. It is TG. It is those guys. I hope they can get some sleep tonight. I hope they can come back and do it again tomorrow.
Final thoughts is I am more than excited for Tego to continue to be in our competitive rotation.
Awesome. Well, thank you to you guys for watching. Come back. More games tomorrow. More Tego. More new stuff. We love you for being here. And until we see you tomorrow, play more PUBG.